for whatever reason, they just couldn't stop the Spurs last night from attacking the paint. They were just taking over inside. They didn't focus too much on the 3-point line. Only 8 threes in the game, but they shot 56% from the field. You know, they were attacking, getting mid-range. DeRozan likes that little mid-range. Aldridge was good last night, attacking and finishing, going against a team that doesn't really have a true big. The Celtics, I think that's maybe one of their weaknesses. They don't really have a true big. I mean, they have Thompson, but you know he's a big, but he's not an elite enough against these really skilled bigs that we have in the league. And they have a lot of guys that are just really big, tall wings that can play every position, and they do help, and they do good with help defense and playing as a team on the defensive end, and then also on the offensive end. But last night it was really good coach against good coach, scheme against scheme, and you know, the Spurs ended up making a couple more shots than the Celtics did, and they just weren't able to get enough stops on them. DeRozan played really well. He hit some big shots down the stretch, and then Aldridge just finished it off. And you know he's always been a steady player to me. So the Spurs 110-106, DeRozan 21-7-5 last night. Pelicans Wizards. I'm really tired of saying this at this point. I don't really know. Maybe I gotta write an email or write a petition or something to the Washington Wizards management. But you please just let them go. I mean, this is the only guy, the first player in NBA history ever to score 40 plus in 10 losses. That's not okay. Can we just take a second to let me make sure I got it, because I want to make sure I got that right. Let me make sure I got that right. Oh, I lost the post. First player in NBA history. Come on. I mean, this is just insane. I get the Pelicans are a good team. I do know the Pelicans are a good team. I'm not taking anything away from the Pelicans. It was a good win for them. You know, pretty much 30 points a quarter. It was just an onslaught all night long. They came out 35 points in the first and just put it on them. The Wizards started to buck back a little bit in the second. In the third quarter, they won that. And then the fourth, the Pelicans just said, all right, it's time to get this game over with and put them away. 32-8-6 from Brandon Ingram, but 47-6-4 from Bradley Beal. It's just insanity that he's scoring all these points and he's losing every game. He has no help. I mean, no help. I don't know what I feel like. I don't even. When you think of the Washington Wizards, I don't even know if Westbrook's not even like on the team. I know he was resting last night, but even when he's on the floor, they look the same. It's awful. It's really terrible. Get Bradley Beal into a team that he can showcase his skills at the next level, as in the playoffs, the next stage. He's doing this for what? The Wizards not making the playoffs. The Wizards that make the playoffs in, I don't even know, 10 years plus? This is awful. Somebody needs to say something. I mean, this is just terrible. Please get him out of Please get him out of Washington. Please get him out. This is awful. Let's get the next game. Thunder Suns 102-97. Here we go again with the Suns. They're making me regret saying that they're going to be in the playoffs and and they're here, they arrived. Because I really did think they arrived. They really look that good. They look that dominant. And I know they can be that dominant. But you can't start the game off 32-17 in the first quarter, and then you drop off and only have 10 in the second quarter. 10 in the second quarter. I mean, what are you doing? What? 10 in the second quarter, 29 in the third, 26 in the fourth. I mean, you just can't. You can't have 10 points in the second quarter, give up 28. After a quarter, you just score 32. And that just goes back to they get complacent on offense, and on defense, they just watch. I've seen it too many times. You know, they're playing well. They get to a big lead. They think that, you know, they come out with all this power because they have a lot of pieces on their team. And they look up at the scoreboard. It's 32-17. Oh, this is maybe a wrap. I don't even worry about it. They start just putting lollygag shots up. You know, not just BS crap on offense. And then you're doing half-assed walkthroughs on defense. Before you know it, 28-10 in the second quarter, and the game is close. Matter of fact, 42, 30, they winning. I mean, it's just, what are you doing? And then now that you see that you're in a state of urgency, you see you're in emergency, now you're in urgency. And you start to, okay, now we got to go, guys, we got to go. But they're not a team that can switch it off and on yet because, number one, they're new. That's the most important thing. They're still new. This unit is still new. And they've never done it before. I've never seen the Suns before be able to switch that switch, flip that switch and just turn it on. I've just never seen it before. So, you know, these guys, they're just making me mad. And you know, 32, 5 and 5 from Chris Paul. That's a good stat line. But I mean, you just can't get complacent like that. You can't. And they're doing it, and they're getting into a habit. And once you get into that habit, it's going to be hard to break it out when it comes playoff time. So, you know, they might make the playoffs, but at this rate, they're going to get bounced. And, you know, they'll take it as an accomplishment because the Suns are in the playoffs. But, I mean, that's just awful. Because they have so much potential. They're such a good team. They're built right, but they're just not. Their mental's not there. And it's kind of sad. I would think with Chris Paul that they could bring it around, but I guess not. Next game, Jazz, Mavs, 116-104. The Jazz are just, I mean, come on. They're just playing so well. I think that Rudy Gobert, I think he started to hear the talk. I know a lot of times when I watch, I think it's TNT, I think it's the TNT games, and the Jazz are playing, and Shaq, he's always coming at Rudy Gobert. He does it to, you know, to hype these guys up, to put some fire in their belly. And it seemed like it's working. Because Rudy Gobert has been playing out of his mind lately. 29, 20, and the one assist, yeah, but 29 points and 20 rebounds. I mean, he's just been dominating the glass in these last couple games. And he's playing like he's on a mission. 7 for 11 from the free throw line. That'll work for a big man. 3 steals. That'll work. 3 blocks. That'll work. I mean, he's just playing. He's playing extremely well. I like that they have Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench. He had 31 last night. 31-7. 31-7. And you know to have a guy like that off the bench is big for them. So you know I really do like them. They're playing so good. They're such a team. They're not selfish. Whoever has a hot night, they give it to them, and they just play well. Defensively, they lock down. It's a 3-and-D team. They're just really, really good. The Mavs are a good team as well, but you know, even one of the teams, the Mavs are one of the top offensive teams. They're always going to be because the guys they have and the way that Luka can orchestrate the offense. You know, he has 30. Hardaway Jr. has 19. Porzingis has 18. But it just wasn't enough because the Jazz are just playing so well. 16 threes for the Jazz, 40% shooting. Outshot them from the 3-point line. pretty much the same from the field, but the 3-point line was the difference. And they're a 3-and-D team. They can shoot the 3 ball really well, and then they lock down on defense. And they're just going to be a menace if they can continue to play at this pace. They're a really good team. And then the last game of the night, let's go Warriors Timberwolves. The Warriors turned around the last couple games. I'm really liking how Oubre is playing. I really do. He's starting to play within himself and not trying to be anybody else. 29-3. He can attack the basket with the top players in the league. He can finish with the top players. He's got that swag that fits the Warriors. And Curry is the type of leader. He'll let him just do his thing. Let him be his person. Big career night though for the young man in Wiseman, my boy. Wiseman's been coming off the bench. They're giving it a different feel. I actually do like that a little bit, only because playing with the starters, Wiseman is a beast. He's a 7-foot monster. He can actually shoot pretty well, and he just takes over games, and he can do it by himself. So when you put him with Curry, Wiggins, Green, and Oubre, he's really and as a rookie he becomes like the fifth wheel. He's more of the garbage man alongside of Draymond. But in the second unit,